Ban phones, but not assault weapons. Priorities, Michigan is better than this. Last month, I shared with you a video about Michigan creating a law that would ban cell phones in schools. A lot of you commented and shared with me your opinions, and you all feel very strongly about this issue. I want to thank you so much for your feedback. I did vote no on House Bill 4141, by the way. And since last month, Republicans have been spending thousands of dollars running this ad right here, spreading misinformation because they are afraid of me. Otherwise, why would they be spending thousands of dollars running these ads? As you are browsing the internet, make sure you report this ad, or you can also mark it as something that you're not interested in so that you don't continue to see this kind of stuff. Now, with that out of the way, I want to talk to you about the two different bills that would essentially ban phones from schools. There's two bills. There's the Senate Bill 234, which was sponsored by my Democratic colleague, Senator Paul Henke. And then there's House Bill 4141, which was introduced by a Republican member in the House. This is the bill that we voted down on in July. The Senate version of the bill passed with bipartisan support back in May, and I support this bill. The reason why is that this gives schools more flexibility. It's important to note that my children's school, they already have a policy in place. Many school districts already do. They have their own policies on when kids can have cell phones. And for my kids, they have to keep them in their lockers and they can use them during special times like lunch or when they have special breaks. Cell phones are a distraction in the classroom. We've heard from educators, teachers, superintendents, and school administrators on how important it is. As a legislator, I never want to overstep our school boards or our schools, and we should allow them the flexibility to make those decisions. So the difference between Senate Bill 234 and House Bill 4141 is that the Senate bill would allow the board of a school district to implement a wireless communication device policy for elementary, middle school, and high schools. It would seek to limit cell phone use, and it may prohibit. So those are the key words. They must create a policy that would limit, not an outright ban. It does provide for exceptions. So exceptions in the case of emergency situations, devices necessary for medical use, devices that provide an accommodation to pupils as required under Section 504 of Title V. Senate Bill 234 that passed out of the Senate back in May provides more flexibilities for schools and school boards to implement a wireless policy. It is not an outright ban, but it provides guidance and it ensures that every school does have a policy in place while also providing exceptions for those students that may need it for medical reasons or emergency reasons. This is why this bill is much better than the Republican bill, House Bill 4141, which Republicans are now attacking Democrats such as myself for voting against and then misleading you in saying that we don't care about kids learning in school or that we care more about kids having cell phones. And that is just simply not true. So let me break down House Bill 4141 for you now that I have explained to you what Senate Bill 234 does. So House Bill 4141 says that a board of a school district shall implement a wireless communication device policy. They must develop a policy for grades K through 5 that would prohibit, okay, so prohibit is the key word here, would prohibit students from possessing a wireless communication device. So what this bill does is it is an outright ban for all elementary school students. School boards would have to implement a policy that would prohibit the use of a cell phone for grades K through 5. And then the next section says that for grades 6 through 8, it would prohibit those students from using a wireless communication device on school grounds during instructional time, breaks between instructional time, lunch, and recess. So again, another full outright ban, grade levels 6 through 8. And then finally, the third section says that the board of a school district for students enrolled in grades 9 through 12 that they must implement a wireless communication device policy that would prohibit those students from using a wireless communication device on school grounds during instructional time. Basically, they are telling the school board that for high school students, they must create a wireless communication device policy that would prohibit the use of a cell phone during instructional time, not necessarily breaks or lunch or recess, but they're picking and choosing when students are allowed to have those phones based on the grade levels. And then that's it for this bill. There are no exceptions. There are no medical exceptions. There are no emergency exceptions. It's an all-right ban of cell phones in schools for every single grade level. And depending on what grade level it is, that ban can mean during recess or lunch or instructional time. So this bill right here is extremely restrictive, whereas Senate Bill 235 provides schools the flexibility that they need to make those decisions, because we can all agree that cell phones are a distraction, and schools should be given that opportunity to make those decisions when it comes to communication devices and how they want to handle it. You know what you guys think about these bills. Senate Bill 234 has passed out of the Senate. It has not been taken up by the House. And then House Bill 4141 died in the House because Republicans did not have enough votes. Now they have 58 members. They did not need any one of us to even vote on those bills. And even their own members did not show up to vote that day because they were upset at the speaker for other political reasons. Share this video, save it, comment at least 5 words, and double tap to like it, and make sure you're following my page